What a weird time to open a can of soda. Nondescript, completely non-definable soda. Yet. Bing, 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 bong, 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 bing, bing, bing.
This ready yet?
It is! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Whatever I Do. This is called Home, a unique horror game adventure. I've done nothing to it. We're at the loading screen, as you can see, and I'm ready to die. Turn up the sound, turn off the lights. God damn it. I just had turned on my lights. Oh, there's so many cans underneath me. I'm a slob. Give me a second to turn off my lights. I've turned off my lights. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet. A flashlight? Hey, Mr. Protagonist. Is that a sleeping bag? Or like a dead body bag? I'm already concerned. That house. Where was I? There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I don't think... Fucking hell. That was clearly a jump scare and I hate it. Tripping? From where? Ooh, a computer. Blood on the walls? It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of here. The desk had a computer and some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop. Did I open the drawer? Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? I don't know, maybe because it's your store? Body still there? Body's still there. It's like black ooze coming from the spot right here. Maybe that's where the body hit the wall. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg, I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs to try and find a way out. The shelf was full of books. On local history and hunting, seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. I think Rachel had an affair. A black and white photo looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Yes. Maybe this would help me find some answers. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for two people. There was dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles along the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. No. Is there There's no inventories function. Stairway. Hey, a thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? Yes. That'll be useful for the cat later. Tools. Picture. Photo similar to the old one I picked up. It had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Pressing it smoothly until I heard a faraway click somewhere. Collection of rusty tools. They look like they'd seen a lot of use and were cracked and damp smelling. Why were they not hung in the shed? I wonder where that noise came from. Nope, not here. Man upstairs didn't look like he'd been dead a long time. I'm gonna try looking upstairs again. Sure was of all kind of random scraps and papers. The note had some kind of water tower. Did he mean the one in the trade yard? That man died in the hallway. What was this blood doing here? I really shouldn't have been going through this stuff, getting my fingerprints on everything. That is a good concern. Man's face looked like the man in the photo I had found. Nope, nothing here. This looks like an attic though. Like a place you store away the things you hate. An old grandfather clock. That's always... The door was taped and seemed to be stuck by the smell. I guess it lit to the kitchen. Fucking Christ, that gave me a shudder. I did not like that at all. Looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn. There was mud caked all over my shoes. Front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. Wonder who it was, the man's wife who did the cleaning or him? There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking to it. They were pretty blurry. Thought I saw what looked like a treetop. I don't like this place anymore. Considering how clean the rest of the bathroom was. I've been sleepwalking. Had I been sleepwalking? What was that house I got to last night? Oh. Appears to have been unlocked. Hey. Nope, let's go to the scary room first. Hey, it's the mouse. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names written down, but they were too smudged to read. It'll make me out of a few notes. Keycard, locker, last one, I promise. They didn't make much sense this time. Moldy food was dizzying. Big box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor, obviously meaning it had been moved. Maybe I found a way out. Must I move it? I heaved the box forward and finally gave way. Can I move this back? And where was the box? The dank smell rose from the passage. Looked again at the photo and found the house. A couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out of here. Footprints in the dirt looked like more than one kind, a lot of traffic. Places all over were marked in old maps. industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Newspaper clippings from local paper, they were all about murders in the town over the last few years. Wait, they were photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. Work table covered in paper, dirt, and a handgun. I hate handguns. Hated guns. Did I take it? Yes. Took the small handgun in my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. Why did I take the gun? Oh, it didn't even give me a chance. Smell and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? Oh, that's another level down. The desk looked old and was caked in grime. On it was a faded stack of old faded pictures. Papers with what looked like names. They were stretched out and legible notes which were written besides them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. He, E, A, Hel, Alap, Af, Ol, Ro. None of it made any sense to me. Crudely made shells looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could see what the warnings. Looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom, something wet. What's with this letter? Someone didn't actually use that, did they? The smell of that room was like old grease and rot. I wasn't getting any closer to anything I found useful. Bones? Half dug into the ground, remains look old, faded clothes that stacked up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes the woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? I wondered what I would have found if I dug deeper. I bet if I go up now, the man will be gone. Please tell me that's like the background of the rock. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothing in them. Clothes I remember throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing here? I was scared before. I was terrified now. Why are there photos of our house and these clothes? What was I checked the back pocket, realizing my wallet was missing. Did I come to that house or did someone bring me? There wasn't anyone here. Was I hearing things? Oh, I don't like that. Remember noticing the broken ladder, had to be careful. Yes! Oh, I hope... There must have been a use for it around somewhere. I heard someone whispering. Rope I found would let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? The smell from before started to get worse. Can I go back up? Bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. Keep out danger due to cave-in. I still feel the faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped, and the ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have ran straight out of the awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least I thought I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had already been used. I kept the handgun in my pocket and seemed a familiar weight there. Oh, exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe something must have been high up. That it must have been a sore landing. That's probably how I hurt my leg. There was dirt on the ground, looked like wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Let's go left. Trickling sound like water. What was that? Exit. Kitchen knife covered in dying blood. Yes. Did I really need all this? Yes. Fucking hell. Three to 4. Z. What? Pretty sure that was actually 2. 3, 4. Oh, there's gonna be something in the rooms that I passed. One. Wasn't sure, but I thought it some kind of looked regular. No idea how it worked. 1, 2, 3, 4. The door was locked. There was a mysterious nutshell inside. Sewers. Wonderful. What those valves for? Did I turn it? Active. Did I turn it? That was still active. Did I turn it? Turn it. That doesn't make sense. Those are dust. I could see the handprints from the previous use, probably from whoever worked in the sewers. Door was locked. There was a musty smell coming from inside. It's a good thing I have a handgun. Not gonna trust the clearly labeled exit sign. My own shoe. It's because I came from here, you idiot. Disgusting, it was a mess of filthy garbage bags, rips and tears. Most of the bag would look like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape? Yes. Discovered with the tape, but I took it anyways. Also, that looks like blood. It looks like someone was trying to get rid of a body. Doing the zealots must have drained the water. That's why this room. There was a ladder I could reach. It's a good thing I have a gun with me. Water drained out of the grate. On the wall, there was a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Pocked the small key, but it was odd shaped, so I had no idea what it might open. I know these kinds of games. It's always like... Oh. I feel like the moment I get out of here, it's gonna say,
He has touched everything. He's clearly the culprit.
Doors open. Painting. The safety poster had been definitely seen better days. Door was locked. How could I see a faint light within? Oh, I don't like any of this. I could smell a hint of fresh air here. Was I close to the exit? I was anxious to leave, but I'm worried I missed something. What's going on the videotape? Oh look, blood. Found another dead body in the sewer worker. By the wounds over his face and body, I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key sticking out the man's pocket. Blood with a knife. Found. With some disgust, I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. There was a security camera in that room. Must have been seen. Could be useful. I have the keys to unlock the doors. Security tapes that were strictly organized through the cover and dust looked as if it was missing from the shelf. I wonder whether I was flip tape. It looked like there could have been two men. Couldn't stand watching that video again. Okay, so I know what happened. Me and the other guy stabbed that worker to death. Well, the other guy stabbed him. I just kind of watched.
'Cause I'm a pussy. I don't know how to do anything for myself.
Worked. And one of them seemed to fit. Collection of stale liquor bottles covered the floor. Wall was littered with dozens of old faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines in the forest, and one of the case in the back of an abandoned truck. Couldn't be sure, but I thought some of those articles had been pasted up back in the tunnel. Find this room. Why was he? Faded receipt was a half trampled on the floor. It looked like a local transit station for 1 or 2 tickets. Neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it in my front pocket. Not much of a place for drinking. I don't like that static sound. It sounds like radiation. Get stabbed the moment I leave the room. Just. This criminy. Jesus criminy. Oh yeah, my remote wants to vibrate now. What a forced horror sensation. Must have been the other end of that ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gotten past that floating room. Wouldn't need that gun. Gave me chills. Whoever it was, it didn't want to be seen. What was the same person I hid all those clippings away? In that locked room, suddenly the awful smell of the sewer grate gave. There's a door. Oh, I didn't like that. It's the sewer. Those 2 beady lights in the distance are scary. Okay, you didn't have to elongate it like that. A ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. It be extended so I could climb. Popped the latch, brought the ladder down. Looks like the arrow's saying go that way. Let's go up. See if the murderer is gonna kill me up here. Oh look, looks like someone fell off. Patches smeared dust, dirt and grass are up here. A beaten old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? I slid the filthy wallet in my back pocket and noticed that it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. So I thought it should recover my credit cards and driver license at least. From the railing I could see over the woods and down the entrance. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. Can I just like walk off the edge? Change the murder tower to the suicide tower. I don't like you. Oh, that's... You wanna pop it again? You did. That's a very high-pitched noise. Let's go back. Try to lift the key. Fish doesn't... Oh, wonderful. waking up a bit, the night ahead becomes strangely chiller. Oh, there's more eyes on me now. Oh, great. A building. Quite as the only thing standing around it was the increased wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Can't I go home? Oh god, if this is the right way to go, then I need to go out of here. No. Dead lights. I have a gun. I can protect myself. Old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train routes connected to the old station. It looked as it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels had the same locations marked, and notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower, even the train yard. What was he doing? Coming back here? Oh cool, I'm behind the train yard. Is there something special? Looks like ripped open and hanging from a shred of metal as well as the broken fence. Looks synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Except the train cell, I could see a few faint impacts like wounds. It could have been bullet marks with somebody shooting there. It was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. So I was touching the gun that I had found, as I thought. Okay, let's go back inside. It's a good thing I have a gun with me. Old ticket booth that looked fairly ruined inside. Ticket window were sheets of paper and wait, were these the train receipts? I thought the receipt I picked up might match these, but of course not. The station had been closed for years. Tickets must not have been newer, must have been for the newer station that opened up on the other side of town after this one was abandoned. However, I noticed a series of fresher looking papers covered in tiny notes scribbled in diagrams. It looked like someone had been leafing through the old ledgers looking for something. A name, perhaps? That sounds like it was me. My guess is my wife was murdered and or something like that, or I went out looking for the guy. Hello, Scary Eyes 1 and 2. I hate that noise. That is the worst noise they could have put. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on the map. I had seen multiple. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath that man had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. There's a sign pointing to various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest seemed too faded to see clearly. Paid more attention to those crazy scribblings, maybe I would have been less nervous about entering the dark forest. Oh, that's not nice. Trampled in the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. Sure, but it's still usable, but it was mine. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. I thought the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I don't like this at all. I just want to... Okay, so that's the rocks. That's a picnic table. There's the river. Safe to cross like this. Did I... No. So I picked the table side amongst the lonely trees, with carvings and marks from years of previous campers. So I tried to read some of the names and marks. I idly thumbed the knife I found. If I wanted to, I could have carved something on the table. Strokes etched the simple design in the woods. R plus H. I felt like a teenager, defacing the table. Gotta go this way first. Anything this way? Oh. Oh, I hate that. Cheap dome tent slept. Two people Shone my flashlight inside, but I could see some bedrolls, 2 backpackers, and a cool. 2 folding camp chairs were on the ground. When it was knocked over, there was a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. Whoever was here left this place in a hurry, but why? Felt like if I kept rooting through this campsite, someone would walk in on me. There was a fireplace there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers were burned at the bottom. Someone else was here in this woods, but they abandoned their campsite because I got too close. It's the outhouse. No, no. Grimy sink had a small patch that looked like it's almost clean. There was a damp-smelling plank leaning against the stall door. Yes, I managed to carry the plank under my arm so it didn't get in the way. The stall was covered in dirt and filth. This washroom obviously hadn't been cleaned in a while. So, Mr. Camper, could you please not murder me as I walk through the woods? A sign that was the same as the first one I'd seen must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. If that's the exit to the other side of the woods, I don't trust that. Finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I'd never want to return there. No. I must touch everything. Okay, so that's one side. Sir, please don't make noises like that. Personal effects shoved in the back of the rock. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was a worn page of names and lists. Sean. None of it made any sense. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Rachel, her name was last on the list, and it had a mark beside it in blue ink. Names Daphne had all been crossed out in the same blue line. All been crossed out, but their marks looked older and more faded. Yeah, it's obviously a serial murderer.
Hello, sir. Can you get me some water?
You're alright. Plank I found was long enough to form a crude bridge, but I wasn't sure it would hold. Did I use it? Yes. Thank you. Two bodies, 2 young women were half dug into the ground, shallow graves between the tree. Younger one was still face up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. They deserved better than that. Did I clean up the gravesite? Yes. Girls were carrying IDs, so I couldn't determine their names. I only hoped that whoever had done this had done it quickly. I wondered if they had phones on them at their campsite. Maybe I could call for help. Breaks and falls into the water. At this point, I've stopped caring about the eyes in the woods. Said that a tent was suffocating. There was no... What? There's no fucking... Olivia, Daphne... just died over a long time. An extinguisher just died out over a long time. No, that's not the way out, is it? No. It's the first one. Right? Yes. The forest started to thin out a bit, and through the trees I could make out parts of the town beyond, and first hints of light. The mysteries of the forest were behind me, but I could still feel them on my neck like a warm breath. Taking care of their white campsite and had murdered them was the same person who left an odd notebook. I was even more eager to get somewhere safe and find a way to reach Rachel. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory, where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear the faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. No. Oh, I didn't like that noise. I didn't like that noise at all. Why did I have to go in here? What kind of person am I? One of the lockers hung open, the contents were tossed around. It seems like someone had been here looking for something. Let's go upstairs. The plan smelled old and rusted. I noted the old bulletin board on the wall. Old break table. The layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. They weren't as dusty as the rest. The board contained yellow clippings of newspaper cartons, cartoons, and notices. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the other older guys on the line. I hate these noises. Power panel. Looks like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yep. Open locker was suffocating with dirty work. Books and old boats. Photo of a woman taped inside was scratched out. Face was unrecognizable. Looks like it was shut off. Do I push the switch? Okay, then I just have to go like this. Yes. We shut tight. There was rust looking on both sides and a car key lock. I hate that noise. I hate that noise so much. I hate it. There's a door over here. Nope, that's not the door. It was a door, but it's not the door. 2 out of 5. Door was locked tight. Something connected to a power box beside it. Door was locked tight. That's a danger. Closed for repairs. Looks like I gotta go upstairs. Norman's locker. The door was oddly dented. It looked like someone had punched it. Doing that when we were working there. Up. Utility shelf crammed with mishmashed tools and items that were claw hammers. The hammer I had noticed wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Lockers was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Yes. The stool wasn't working. Yes. Still wasn't working. Switch the power. Yes. Could it turn on some lights then? Maybe? I hate that door. Stuck with it. I removed the planks, left the hammer on the floor. This was my locker. There was a factory, stank of old booze. One picture was, it looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. The floor was loaded with old liquor booze. Wonder if that man in the house had something to do with it. He sure had a lot of alcohol at his place. Is there a stench of leftover liquor? But bad memories. Down we go. Hello.
key reader. Yes. Looks like that's my exit. Oh, that's a cock. A little letter on the floor, looked like and scratched out heavily. Yes. It was violently scratched out with what looked like a ballpoint pen. All I can make out was need to. Just don't drink, need Norman? Who was Norman's writing to? From at the top of the plant, the one with all the bottles was really getting to me. Maybe it was just a distraction. Who went up there and just used that room? It's like this facility I didn't recognize where I was going. Oh no, 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 fuck! Fuck! Oh well, I just suffer through getting stabbed. The 60... Dumpster, dumpster. Greenish corner. Card off as best I could and took it back. And now this. Tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Norman's place with the back of the store that he ran. Salty quiet except for the faint sound of television.
Norman, are you home, honey?
Oh, that's not good. He's hung himself. Oh no. Was I seeing Norman, my coworker, and one of my few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair, his face and shirt were covered in blood, looked like he'd been shot trying to get up, his eyes were still widened with shock. Norman, you deserve better than this. I chose to close his eyes. Still thinking... Well, now I have the gun and the knife. Kitchen was trash pan was smelled fresh. Found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash. Pocketed it. Maybe we kept it clean enough that there was clean water. Looked like a pull chain hanging from the ceiling. I wonder where it led. That's not creepy at all. It was a large cardboard box that didn't... pile of clothing, photos, and even... They were Rachel's. What were you doing here, Rachel? Were you responsible for Norman's downstairs? Only made my head spin. Maybe Rachel was having... Okay. Rachel was having an affair and I got onto a murderous rampage. I killed Norman. How long had it been there? A small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. I felt a great burden. No! No, I was stupid. I didn't want to... Will I find the fucking cutting board next? Small, but it was clean and usual things, postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. Never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work and see if we needed anything. Oh. If it's Rachel stalking me, I'm gonna be angry. Various postcards in the area expecting a tourist trap of a water tower. The week since I last seen Norman, and finding him that way was still left me cold. Only cemented my reassurance that I'm getting rid of that gun. No answers, but I was close to home. Need to find out the truth. Hey. 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 Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so I think it's gonna be the second one, maybe. Oh? He was wrong. Neighbor's local post box. They're sticking out of his. Someone pushing it in all the way. Yes. Woman, there was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband. He is, and your friend. So I'm away from both of you. I'm gonna be away for a while. I'm gonna tell him. Norman, don't you think that you can hold that against me? People work it out. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Oh, I became a drunken bastard because my work suffered. There was blood on the wall right there. Expecting. Fuck. I killed Rachel and ran away. I was terrified to step in. And the sound was my breath, own breathing ragged and strained. Power was out. Of course it was. Buried table. Was it yesterday or the day before? Door to the basement was locked. Where'd I put the damn key? There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had it been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked it up? Ripped open the bill and read it. Canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? Front door was locked from the inside. I couldn't go out though. I needed to see if Rachel was here first. So, my guess, and probably the right guess, my job got taken away 3 years ago. I fell into debt in a big drunken stupor. I drank a lot and ran away to the factory to drink. Then I found and stumbled through the forest. Found a place that wasn't going to judge me. An abandoned house. Or hell, it could have just been a normal house. And I broke into there and I murdered the man. Found the last missing piece of my wallet, old photo of Rachel, and I started sitting back to remember. Feeling like I'd gotten part of my life back. Or television, I purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. Then it was too late. Our hallway mirror had been smashed to pieces, scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. Wasn't sure I wanted to. Oh, there's blood on the floor. That looks like really dry blood. Books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in the house had some say in books. My wife's, Rachel's suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but it had been few days' worth of clothing, some personal effects, and a train ticket. Flushed with anger and resentment. Date and time matched the receipt I had found. Yep. I murdered a security guard. And my wife. And my best friend. And that old man. Random man. Old water tower. There was a key in the top of the drawer. Form I've been running for a while. Seems like I'm probably contemplating suicide off the water tower. Sink which needs to be replaced. One of the taps is always stuck. I hadn't gotten around to fixing it yet. Hospital in one of those wonderful claw-footed bathtubs. And it was part of what made the house a home. Stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. Oh, damn it. Now I gotta do the fucking item dance. Basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. Garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and spliced. There was a dirty old key. There were old clothes and tools, other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. I had put up this divider so we could separate. I hadn't finished it, so the door was stuck, and the drywall was poorly installed. Might have been able to break through it if I found something heavy enough. I think that's what we're gonna find. A dead body and a sledgehammer. Is this my drinking room? This looks like my drinking room. That looks like a broken bottle of booze or something similar. Bring me to the basement, sir. This has turned from a horror game to just a sad game. Oh! Wow! Did I keep her locked up? Son of my beloved wife, Rachel wasn't there. Couldn't find Rachel there, and I won't find her anywhere else because I stumped back upstairs and my leg just a dull ache. So did I stop myself from stabbing Rachel? Maybe accidentally killing her? I guess these books were all mine actually then. My head was pounding. My wallet with its contacts and tents. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's door, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? Yes. Any other way, I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. It's pretty obviously what the man and his wife that I found at the house. Were those really his wife's remains? It certainly seemed so. Murder his wife and bury her in the tunnels. what else was wrapped up? The stars that broke the mirror could see my face now gaunt, hollow and sickly. I am immensely troubled. What other illusions had I dreamed up? What other truths had I been waiting for? To be exposed. Through the faded glass, I looked like nothing more than a faint shadow. One who wanted to keep the tub. When the last time I showered, they smelled awful. Then went to the toiletries by the sink. Was the key card I found in the factory the one that allowed me to slip through that door? Seemed to allow me Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing in the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No. Laptop had finally run out of power. I had made up my mind. So I'm basically just deciding the story I'm gonna believe. Door on that side. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. But it didn't have the code. Maybe I left it somewhere. Maybe I left it with Rachel. Or in the kitchen. Letter that I had taken from the post box, found a bit wet in the rain. But if, well, who wrote it? Who was no one seeing? Then what about him? Probably. I had that old TV for so long, I don't know if I could ever replace it. I killed my best friend in a fit of rage, and I don't know what to say about it. Killed my best friend in a fit of rage, and I don't know what to say. I don't like how he's... I don't like how he strews everything about. Get some answers from where? This is the only room that really has anything that I haven't done yet. I had been recent victims. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, and Cheryl. Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose. Those poor girls that I found in the forest. I wonder what happened to the other two. The names... Can I go down now? I thought I was ready to go back in the basement. I was guilty I couldn't take this to a more safe place. Everything smelled musty down there. I guess I have to pick it up. Firmly in my hand. Firmly grasp it. Firmly grasp it. Hey kitchen, can I like put the knife in here? No? Okay. Can I leave yet? This slow strolling and extensive walking is starting to get to me. Sure. Give me something good to do. Get away from my past. Disappearing for hours at a time, drinking was probably just a way to deal with it. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my brain in its own game. Things stopped making sense sometime after that, and my memories of what happened are still in flux. Came along, this night had been the worst of my entire life. It wouldn't even be possible to bounce back from everything that happened, everything I'd seen. Haven't woken up that tonight, it would have been spared me a lot of pain. I killed his wife, I was sure of it, just as sure as you killed mine. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. Was it that was attacked? And what I've been doing at Norman's place, or even in that old forest. What had happened there? You think, was I guilty or was I just mad? About that poor girl I'd accidentally discovered in the forest. Woods, names, I think I saw something else before. It could have been behind me, it couldn't it? I would never do such a thing to such sweet, innocent people. Been the one going back to the factory, who else could it have been? You know, you've really screwed me up. I feel like I can't trust a damn thing I've seen. Perspective of all the reality started to change. It was clear to me now why. You'd taken Rachel from me, you were going to take her away from me altogether. In the end, you got what you deserved. But as painful as it was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end of this ordeal. I had no idea, though. This was only the beginning. When I had first stepped out through the kitchen door, the silence had been unnerving. To think that I went through all that, completely unaware of what I would discover. Had I killed Norman, thinking that he and that there was something going on, everything was held dear. That I held dear and true was now spinning around me. I had nothing to go around. This hope of reason, without Rachel, without whatever I thought Rachel I lost forever. The door swung open, I could smell damp grass and closeness to the air. Everything it felt like more questions than answers. It made me see the truth, I'll give you that. But now I was completely lost. It took only sure the word would get out even soon enough and the police would come looking for me. Okay. Interesting, I guess. It wasn't much of a horror game as it was just a startle. Had a couple jump scares, but honestly nothing that made you fear for your life. So that was good, I guess. Gave me a couple shockers, but you know, nothing really. Watch your back. Home is dedicated to my wife, Nazi. That was kind of funny. It's clear that there's different, endings and all that stuff. But either way, thank you so much, everybody, and have a great night.